There is sacrilege committed against a crucifix and an image of the against a, why can't I say it? Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Amber Rose, also known as the Religious Hippie. You can basically follow me on any social media platform, or you can go straight to my website at thereligioushippie.com. I have a ton of stuff on there. On there, I have economy rosaries, haters will be prayed for prayer journals, some St. Jude prayer mugs, other mugs, and there will be other things to come. So definitely stay up to date on that with my newsletter. Also, shout out to Heart of IESVS for sending me this adorable St. Therese of Lisieux sweatshirt. They have so many cute Catholic items on their shop, so definitely go check them out and show them some love. And let's get into today's video. Okay, so obviously by the title, you guys are watching this video because you want to know my opinion and why I am not going to go watch the Padre Pio movie. Ever since this movie came out, it's been causing a lot of issues. Some Catholics say that it's fine to watch. Other Catholics say that they have been scandalized by the content in this film. Personally, as a Catholic, I don't know how you could watch this movie and not be scandalized. But maybe we should be more worried about how desensitized we are to things like this. Everybody has a different opinion on the Padre Pio movie. I respect that. However, based off of the research I've done and talking to other Catholics who have watched the movie, I will be telling you why I will not be watching it. The number one reason I will be avoiding this movie is because of the sacrilege that is portrayed in it. In the Padre Pio movie, there are a few scenes where Padre Pio is being tempted by a naked woman who is supposed to be the devil. She is completely nude and you see this. Now, I don't necessarily have an issue with nudity. The body is beautiful, it's not something we should be ashamed of, but because of today's society, when you see nudity, usually it equals sex or sexual content. It's not like the statues in the museums of the Greek gods where you can really appreciate the human body because it's done in such a beautiful and artistic way. Today, nudity is just seen as sex, basically. So while I don't really have an issue with it because I don't see nudity as equaling sex or being sexual, many people do, and it might scandalize those who are dealing with sexual sin or trying to combat a habitual sexual sin. But getting back to the sacrilege part of this movie, oh my goodness, this is unacceptable. There is sacrilege committed against a crucifix and an image of the Blessed Virgin Mary by this nude devil. I will not say what, because I do not want to scandalize anybody, but it is not good. It is absolutely disgusting. I will never, ever support any movie that does this. Even if they're trying to be 100% accurate to Padre Pio's story, it is unacceptable. This is a real woman, a real naked woman. Okay, she's an actress, yes, but she is still a real person committing sacrilege against an image and a crucifix. Okay, that is not okay. There's other nude scenes in the film, like we see the backside of Shia LaBeouf and whatever. And I'm not saying that nudity is bad because, again, the human body is not bad, but why is it necessary? Why? Does anybody remember The Miracle Man or The Miracle Maker? It's like this 3.5-hour long Padre Pio film. It's about his life and everything. And yeah, he was tempted by the devil multiple times in a sexual way. But do you guys remember how they portrayed it in that movie? They portrayed it as a woman laying in hay, and then she like brings her skirt up a little bit flirtatiously. We got the idea. We understood what was going on, but did they have to be nude? Was nudity shown? No, because you don't need nudity in order to get a point across. The point is, though, the sacrilege is the number one reason why I will never watch this movie, nor will I support it or condone it in any way. Next up, I talked about this in my movie review for Father Stu, and people told me that I needed to grow up, that the world is a vulgar place, that through the vulgarity, other people are going to be able to be reached. Look, I am here to tell you that vulgarity is not of God. And yeah, the world is a vulgar place, but it doesn't have to be. And I do not support vulgarity in a film that is supposed to portray the life of a saint. Also, I want to reiterate that Father Stu, even though it was a very good movie, I do think it was good, and I'm excited for them to release the version of it without the cursing. Keep in mind that Father Stu is not a saint, okay? It's a story about a priest. He's not a saint yet. Padre Pio, on the other hand, is a very well-known saint. We need to have respect and reverence. Now, some people believe that there's a translation error when it comes to the Padre Pio movie and the curse words that are used. Some people believe that the F word has a completely different meaning in Italian than it does in English. I don't really know about that because I'm not Italian. I don't speak Italian. I could ask one of my Italian friends and just text Francesca really quick. I don't know if this is true or not. The point is, though, is that cursing is unnecessary in movies. I remember this story when I was a little kid about this woman who brought her daughter to Padre Pio. The woman said that her daughter was possessed and they didn't know why, and they were asking Padre Pio to heal her. Padre Pio told her to have her husband stop cursing and her daughter would no longer be afflicted or possessed. Take that as you will, but to me, that doesn't seem like somebody who would use the F word on a daily basis or as much as it is used in this movie. Now, I was not alive when Padre Pio was around. My dad was 4 years old, but I was nowhere near being born yet. So because of that, I don't know what he was like. I never met him. I don't really know of any videos that exist of him outside of maybe a couple here and there and then a mass that he did and a few photos. So I don't know him. I don't know what he would have been like. However, I find it very hard to believe that a saint with the stigmata would curse people out the way that he did in this movie, or curse in general the way that he did in this movie. We know Padre Pio was hard on people. We know that he was harsh at times. We know that he did not have a filter really, and he was not afraid to get gruff with people and tell them when they messed up. In fact, he would actually deny people confession because he could see if their heart was in the right place or not. And if it was not in the right place to actually be in confession, he would tell them to go away and come back when they were ready to actually confess. But think about how many souls he saved by giving them this tough love, by telling them like, you have to rightly order your heart, go rightly order your heart, or telling people and just kicking them into shape. I think we need more of that today. I don't know exactly how he went about it, but I do know that we need a little bit more gruffness and tell people like, hey, get your act together. Now, did he curse while doing these things? I don't know. But a part of me doubts it, at least not cursing in the same way that we do today. It might have been different back then than what it is today. And, you know, Italy is different culture than here. So maybe it had a different meaning. Maybe he didn't curse, or maybe he was just rebuking them and the translation meant something completely different. But I don't know. That's just simply my opinion. Don't take it as dogma. Just my opinion. The last reason that I will not be watching this movie, and although it's not really that important, but I was like, well, I should have more than 2 reasons, is the storyline. The movie is called Padre Pio, and yet most of the movie is about communism that was going on at the time. I don't mind a movie about communism. Truly, I don't. I think it's really good that we have to get the word out about communism because I think it's creeping back in, and I'm not against that. But when you have a movie that's called Padre Pio, but then the main story of the movie is about communism, shouldn't you put communism in the title, like Padre Pio and communism, or communism during Padre Pio's time, or I don't know, just like incorporating that into the title. It's really not a big deal, so I'm not going to make like a huge deal of it, but I just thought it was odd that this was supposed to be a story about a saint, and then most of the story was about communism. Now, I don't really have much else to say about this topic, and I am glad that Shia LaBeouf found Catholicism through the process of being in this Padre Pio movie and portraying Padre Pio. I am so grateful for that. But in the words of the National Catholic Register, God brings good out of evil, but we are never permitted to do evil that good may come of it. I am very disappointed in all of these Catholic movies coming out of Hollywood. They've kind of tainted the Catholic faith for a lot of people. Other people have been drawn to the faith, okay, and that's great, but the issue is that we still cannot permit evil so that good could come of it, because we cannot make good out of evil. God can. And honestly, I don't know why we continue trusting Hollywood to make movies about our faith when they ridicule and mock our faith in public. Why are we trusting them with these movies? Please be diligent. All of my devout Catholic friends who have tried watching this movie have shut it off within the first 5 to 15 minutes because it's so bad, because of the disservice that it does St. Padre Pio, the sacrilege, the vulgarity, and so much more. It was a huge disappointment to everybody. It's not worth your time, your effort, or your money. Do not scandalize yourself. Instead, I highly suggest, this is not sponsored, but I highly suggest that you guys get formed.org. Formed.org you can get for free if your parish has a subscription and you're a parishioner. On the first page, it'll be like, oh, type in my church. If you type in your church and it pops up, you click on it, you have a profile, it's free for you. I consider formed.org to be like Catholic Netflix. It has Catholic movies, it has TV shows for the kids, it has awesome lectures where you can learn about different things. I think those are called Lectio Divinas. dramas. There's just so much on forum.org for Catholics. I highly suggest you get that over Netflix or something else. And honestly, I highly suggest you guys watch The Miracle Maker or The Miracle Man. I think it's called The Miracle Man. I'm Googling it. Yes, it's called Padre Pio Miracle Man. It's 3.5 hours long. You're in for the long haul. I remember I had to break this movie up over the course of, I think it was like 3 days. I think I watched an hour every day. It was great. But anyways, again, forum.org, get your account. It's like Catholic Netflix. You won't regret it. They have audiobooks. They have classes. It's just such a wonderful resource for Catholics. So if you don't already have it, get it. Very helpful. All right, guys, with all of that being said, that is my opinion on the Padre Pio movie. That is why I will not be going and seeing it. Let me know in the comments below if you saw it, what your opinions are, or if you haven't saw it and what your opinions are. I will talk to you guys in the next video. I do ask that you guys be respectful in the comments, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.